Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Paige and we're getting cozy today. We're in September now, we're entering autumn. School year's either already started for some of you, it's just about to start for me. It's one of my favourite times of year, and that's because we get to get cozy. I tried to emulate cozy. We're going to be cozy with a candle today. And I just thought, getting into that time of year, and if we're uni students, then we're all about to trek across the country and leave home, and there'll probably be a local lockdown because we're all leaving and flocking across the country, and then we'll be stuck away from home. So maybe we need some cozy reads. I know I love a good old cozy read. They're some of my favourite reads. So in today's reading recommendations video, I thought I'd give you some of my faves. There's definitely one, but there might be one or two reads on this list that I haven't actually read yet. I was just looking through some good, like, cozy, autumny reads, and I saw these, and I immediately have put them on my list to buy in my next book order. So I thought if I immediately read them and was like, I'm gonna buy them, I should let you guys know about them, and then maybe we can read them together and all be cozy together. Do like and subscribe if you enjoy this video, if you enjoy my reading recommendations. I have a whole playlist of them that you should check out, and in general you should just check out my other videos, you know? And now we can get into the books. The first book on this list I have spoken about twice in my previous two videos, and that is Fangirl by Rowell. This is just a comfort read, you know? When I was buying this, even the woman at Waterstones when I was buying this was like, it's just such a cozy comfort read. And I was like, yes, now that I've read it, it really is. So this takes place on a university campus, so it's perfect for going back to uni. It's about our main character, Kath. She has a twin sister, and as they go to uni, her twin sister decides she wants more space. She doesn't want to be like joined at the hip with Kath anymore. She wants her own life, her own friends, and she kind of cuts Kath off. Kath is obviously very hurt by it, and Kath is the much more introverted one of the two of them, and so she's struggling a bit at uni. And she kind of deals with struggling in this new environment by delving into fanfiction and writing fanfiction and clinging on to this fanfiction that she's been writing for years. And it's just a really heartwarming tale. It's so nice for going back to uni. I honestly think I might reread this month because I just kind of want to be in the mood for uni. I know everyone in the world has read this book and I'm really late to the game, but if by some miracle you've been putting it off or you just didn't think it was for you, as a cozy autumn back to school read, you don't get better than this, you really don't. The next book on this list is another really obvious one, but I kind of have to say it, and that is Harry Potter. Now I've chosen Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone because I personally find the early ones the coziest. As they kind of grow up with you and they get darker, I still like them, but I don't really like it when it gets quite dark. I like the early ones when each story is its own like individual plot issue kind of thing, and it's all focused on school. And I haven't ever reread the Harry Potter series, by the way. This is an issue. I read it once when I was 10 years old and I've never reread it. And I'm actually, now that I'm talking about it, really want to reread this, so I might reread this one tonight. This is just perfect for school, and honestly, we all grew up reading Harry Potter pretty much, and no one can deny that they're cozy. They're nostalgic and they're cozy and they're wonderful. And obviously, just putting it out there, stan Harry Potter, don't stan J.K. Rowling at all. The next book is another book I mentioned recently. That is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. This is just magical and cozy, and it takes place at night, so it's all, you know, dark and cutesy and wonderful. And it feels like being hugged with a warm hot chocolate. This is basically about a circus that arrives unexpectedly and without warning, and it's only open at night, and it's all like it's real magic, and there's magical realism going on, and that's like the overall plot of the circus. But then this subplot running through of these two wizards who put forward champions to compete against each other, and it's a competition to the death between these two like competing students, except they fall in love. I think a lot of people don't like Erin Morgenstern's work because they think it's a bit flowery and pretentious. I honestly have never had that issue with it, but I read it at a time when I wasn't watching BookTube, so I wasn't really influenced by anyone else's thoughts when I read this, and I'm very happy about that. I just think it's worth giving it a go if you think the plot sounds like it would be for you, then don't be put off just because other people on BookTube didn't like the writing style, because I didn't notice anything wrong with it when I read it. It was only when I started hearing people talk about it on BookTube that I was like, oh, was that an issue? I didn't notice. So definitely check it out. Now, the book that I was telling you about earlier that I saw when I was doing research for this video that I immediately wanted to buy, so I thought I'd tell you about it, is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. V.E. Schwab is obviously a huge author, especially within the BookTube community. I've never read any of V.E. Schwab's works, so very happy for this to be the first one as soon as I placed the order. This is about a woman in France in 1714, and I believe she kind of like makes a deal with the devil. She kind of gets tricked in this deal and it becomes a bit of a curse. This deal involves her living forever, I think, I'm not sure. But the blurb sounds fantastic. It's about her. It says it kind of spans continents and decades and different art and society, and it just, honestly, it sounds fantastic, and it's exactly the kind of thing I would want to be reading in autumn. There's just something about historical fantasy settings that I just love. It just sounds like it would be cozy. The reviews of this book on Goodreads just all seem either very excited to read it or absolutely adored it, so I'm going to be buying it. It sounds really cozy. I've heard that it is a very good cozy October-y kind of read, so putting it on my list and telling you guys about it. And the next book on this list is The Secret History by Donna Tart. This again is a book that I feel like so many people talk about but is also kind of ignored on BookTube. I know that just doesn't make any sense at all, but I've definitely heard it mentioned, but I feel like it isn't talked about in like as much as it would be if the cover was different. I think the cover of this book really makes it seem like it's very different to how it is. Like when I first saw the cover of this book, I was like, oh, that's not the kind of book for me. And it was only when I heard what the book was actually about that I was like, oh yes, I would actually really read that. Now this is about a bunch of classic students at university going through history, I believe, and trying to uncover the secret history, trying to uncover parts of history that aren't really well known, the more like subtle aspects of history. This book is just right up my alley. It's classic students, it's set at a university, it's got like a Dead Poet Society kind of vibe, so definitely add this to your list of cozy reads because you will not be disappointed. The next book on this list is The Sparrow Sisters by Herrick. This book is like Gilmore Girls meets practical magic. It's about a coven of witches living in New England, and it's a love story, and it's about them like fitting in with their environment and using spells and herbs, and there's like this whole like real magical undertone, you know. It's not a fantasy, but there's definitely this undertone of fantasy in the sense of like this real magic exists and anything is definitely possible, but it's told in a kind of like Wiccan way. New England, autumn, like there's autumn leaves on the cover. It is an autumn setting in New England with like practical magic elements. It's so cute. It really is cute. It kind of plays on the witch trials, you know. These witches are just kind of, they're a very tight coven and they're living together, and then they kind of get embroiled in this crime mystery type thing. Animosity from the witch trials kind of comes to the surface, and this fear that they must harbour, and it's just a really truly fantastic read. Perfect for autumn. I think one of the most perfect books on this list for autumn. I do want to do a Halloween reads recommendation video, and I think you'll probably see this book in there too, but it's not necessarily scary and it's not really centered around Halloween. It's just witches in like an autumnal setting, so figured it was perfect for cozy and comforting too. Okay, and so the penultimate book on this list is We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. I remember when everyone was talking about this book. Jesus Christ, I only bought this book because everyone was talking about it, and I'm not going to tell you what it's about on the off chance that you haven't read it, because it really is best to go into this book blind. This is to this day one of the best books I've ever read, and I'm so happy that I had no clue what the hell it was about when I started reading it. It's just one of those books, there's not much I can tell you about it. It's a really fun mystery. I personally think it's autumn and the colder months, especially if none of the others on this list really appeal to you. You want something maybe a bit darker. I definitely say checking this out is a good idea, or just rereading it. Bit of a weird choice, but hopefully you kind of understand where I'm coming from. especially if you've read it, then you probably are more likely to understand where I'm coming from. And I definitely think, maybe especially if you're in the mood to cry, this might be it for you. The last book on this list is definitely the weirdest choice of them all, and that is Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. Really, any Stephanie Perkins book, to me anyway, is really cozy and comforting. However, I think Anna and the French Kiss especially is the most perfect for the cozy, comforting months, because it's set in Paris and it kind of follows the school year. Our main character Anna moves to a school in Paris, and it's about her making new friends and dealing with living in a new city and kind of figuring out who in her life is really her friend and all that kind of fun stuff that you usually find in a YA contemporary, but set in one of the most beautiful cities in the world. So I kind of categorize things in my brain weirdly. Like emotions I see as colours, Taylor Swift albums I see as seasons, cities I see as months. And to me Paris is like December, early December, before Christmas, when everything's festive and cute and adorable. This is why I think this book is the coziest of the Stephanie Perkins books. There's also just a lot of seasonal plot points throughout this book because it's following term, and to show that progression of time, there's, you know, plot points for seasons and like going home for Thanksgiving break and celebrating Christmas in a new city, etc, etc. I personally think this is a perfect back to school autumnal read. Kind of a weird choice, but hopefully you understand why I picked it and maybe give it a chance. Thank you very much for watching this video. I know I rambled a lot in it. I do apologise. Hopefully there was a book in here that you're interested in and you want to read or check out. Do let me know down in the comment section if there is a book you want to read, or if any of these books speak to you as super cozy reads. I know it's back to school time and it's not fun. I know I'm not looking forward to it. I need the cozy reads. Hopefully there was something in here for you guys too if you're in this position. Do like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, you want to stick around. I do have a collection of other reading recommendations, and somewhere on my channel I would like to think that there is a book for you, so do check it out. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.